Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is our week 4 predictions for our Major League Rugby Wombats Pick'em Challenge. We got a great show for you tonight. Good follow-up episode. Great guest after an MLR and Eagle. Oh, we'll tell you about it when we get there. So joining us, we got Marcus, Nico, DeAndre, Phil. Justin will be on in a minute. And we have the Vice President from Des Moines Rugby, Nate, the Legacy Tystahl. How you guys doing?
Hi there, guys.
And I said your names for you because you guys messed it up last time.
Yeah.
You guys lost the privilege to say your own name.
That's okay.
All right, so we're going to get jumping in here. So again, it is our West Des Moines Wombats Major League Rugby Pick'em Challenge 2021, brought to you by District 36 in Ankeny. They have a nightly social hour from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. They have a nice bar special with $3 draws, Busch Light, $4 glass of wine, $5 signature cocktails, $6 flatbreads, and make sure you notice this, half-price appetizers. We want to make sure you guys get in on that. Great deal. It's one of the best spots in Ankeny you can get to. They have a great patio, the best pond, and their catering is just out of this world. So make sure, take your lady on a date there. Great atmosphere. You won't be disappointed. So thank you again, District 36.
Oh my fucking God.
Oh, well, can you guys see that? Or
That looks like a typical Philly fan.
All right.
That's the best screenshot I've ever taken.
Well timed. And I just threw this in here. So, and it's kind of fun to put this in this episode. So we were talking about it last week. Houston and Austin, the cross-state, not cross-state, but the Texas rivals, they have this thing called the Texas Cup. Pretty awesome. They play not only for, obviously, a divisional win, but also they play for this cup right here. Pretty cool. That'd be really cool, as we get going, if like our West Des Moines Wombats could find a club in the area where we could create a geographical rivalry and like have like a trophy or cup. And I just wish there was someone we could talk to about maybe doing that in the future. I don't know. Nate, you know anyone?
I wonder if there is a team nearby.
We'll have to get a hold of their people.
Yeah, they should reach.
We're hard to find. We're very hard to find.
Yeah, it was tough getting a hold of you within like 5 minutes. It was like, hey, we got someone. All right,
You're welcome.
Nate, I jumped ahead. I'm a little bit off. Before we get into talking about the punishment and kind of showing you what you're going to be doing here with us, first, we kind of want to, let everyone know who you are. Again, you're with Des Moines Rugby. You are not a part of the West Des Moines Wombats, but the great thing about rugby is it's a social sport. Everybody's friends. After a match, you have a beer, you kick it, you chill with everybody. And we want to make sure, when we say grow the game, we've had conversations as a group with, our board, your board. We want to make Des Moines a hot spot for rugby, not just Des Moines Rugby, not just West Des Moines Rugby, but together we want more rugby in Des Moines. We want more rugby, everywhere. So it's great to have two clubs working together to try to make that happen. And so, first of all, your history with rugby. You've got a lot of family that's played. How did you get involved? Where was your first start? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I was just actually over at my parents' house about an hour ago before we came on here, and we were just kind of talking about that. And they said my first tournament was actually April of 1994 at the Okoboji tournament. So about 2 years been around the sport. Des Moines Rugby has been around since 1970. My dad played for a few years growing up, so been around since basically birth. He actually was one of my first coaches at Dowling. That's when I really got started playing in 2011 against some guys like DeAndre. Actually, me and DeAndre played in my first 15s game together for Des Moines. Been kind of addicted to it since. It's been kind of a nice last 3 years being a officer, actually having some voice in the club and seeing the direction of which it's going. And obviously, just to piggyback on what you said, there's no harm in having more than one team, just promoting such a great sport and just trying to grow the sport in any way we can, just get more people involved, more people aware of really what the sport can offer to them.
Definitely. And what are some of the stops you've had? Because you were the Des Moines Spotlight Player of the Week this last week, and it looked like, you've had a lot of stops on your rugby career already. Where are some of the places you've played for?
Yeah, so started with Des Moines. Then after that, just kind of was a social player for a few years there while I was in college, because I actually swam in college. So during the summer, I'd come back and play for Evan Sunday's Ankeny Summer Sevens on the Sevens Tour here in Iowa. My senior year, I actually quit swimming and joined the University of South Dakota's team for a few matches there until kind of had some hardships with numbers and weren't able to kind of continue moving forward there. Since then, moved back to Des Moines, other than one gap year when I actually lived in Omaha. I've been pretty much involved with just Des Moines as a whole. So
nice. And what made you go from just being like a player on the team to wanting to get involved into a board position? And what was that first position, and kind of what's your role now with Des Moines, and what are you looking for to do?
Yeah, first role was just being the social chair, and honest to God, I took it because no one else was volunteering for it. I had some ideas for, obviously half the fun of being in the rugby community is just going at it for 80 minutes, ripping each other's head off, and then wanting to share a beer with the next guy that you just hit for 80 straight minutes. So definitely trying to make that a fun atmosphere, make sure you're putting up, we have a great facility in Des Moines, so just any way we can show that off and kind of get teams in there and just be as hospitable as we can. I wanted to be a part of that. After that, I had the easiest job in the world. I was the match secretary during COVID. So really strenuous job there, planning all those matches. And then, yeah, apparently they thought I did a good enough job doing that. And so I got another promotion to VP this last year. So, but yeah, just like you were saying here, my goals with VP is kind of your goals with the Wombats. We obviously want to promote growth, youth development, any way you can get a rugby ball into kids' hands, just to teach them the sport, to make them aware of it. So when they get to high school, they see that it is a sport there and they want to play it. So, I mean, that's
Definitely.
how most of us, I think, got into it. And so anyway, you can kind of just pay it forward. We're all for. So.
Yeah, definitely. And, talking about the spring, even though, last year you weren't able to schedule any matches,
Mm-hmm.
you did a great job with that. Moving into this year, what does your guys' spring schedule look like? You guys had your first match of the spring this past Saturday. How's it looking?
Yeah, we went down and traveled to Kansas City, took on their D2 team. Had some good results. We came away with a victory. Still a lot to improve on. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but we have a match here, not this next Saturday, but the 17th at home against the St. Louis Bombers. And then the next one that we have actually officially on record is May 5th. We're going to go up and play the Eastside Banshees.
Nice.
So trying to take on some D2 teams, really test our system out and just see where we're at to kind of gauge our system. So
yeah, getting some competition out of state and seeing some different teams you don't always
obviously
see.
know you're going to play all those teams in state in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of meet new people and get to see some different people that you don't play against twice every fall. So
Definitely. And those are some good clubs, good history with those clubs. I know we have a former St. Louis Bomber with us here. Justin was down there for a few years, so he's probably
cool.
he knows some of those guys on that squad. And is that game in Des Moines?
Yep, that'll be at our clubhouse. I believe it's a 1 o'clock kickoff. There are some talks in the works of having a few D4 games and maybe another game against St. Louis at home in May. Obviously, COVID permitting and making sure that we get everything numbers-wise worked out for that, but hasn't officially been made, but there's some talks for that as well. So,
nice. Yeah, that whole every other weekend, that's been tough to set
that was
up.
a real killer. Honest to God, the only real work I did as a match secretary is I had this perfect spring schedule set up, and then I got notified that we had to play every other week, and I don't think we're even playing one of those teams anymore because scheduling just didn't work out. So,
right. Yeah, hopefully we can get back on track soon and everyone can get back. Hopefully in the fall, we can get back to the way things, maybe not the way things were, but a little more normalcy. And
yeah, some normality.
Yeah. And so what would you say overall, like your favorite rugby memory would be so far?
Man, that's tough.
Just putting you on the spot. Like,
Yeah.
I losing to
Think here.
Urbandale.
Hey, close the yearbook, DeAndre.
it's not your memory, DeAndre.
I mean, it's maybe just because it's so recent. I've never beat the Blues before, so going down there we had some struggle getting numbers until the last minute. So coming away with a victory there was really nice. Obviously, so many memories for social events and just card trips and things like that.
Mhm.
People you meet and friends for life you meet from just those. I mean, there's countless ones of those, but actually playing, man, there's just too many too. I mean, it's hard. So
Right. It's hard to quantify all those little moments, like
Yeah.
you said, in the car, at the gas
Mhm.
station, when you're in the middle of nowhere,
exactly,
Wisconsin, or
camping at all Iowa.
exactly. And so, no, that's awesome. And lastly from me, last question I had before I kind of open it up to these guys, because I hog all the questions. What are you looking forward to most coming up as we get back into rugby? You guys have started your season, but what's that one thing you're just ready to see, whether it's on the field or off the field?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just seeing numbers grow, seeing these new guys get involved and seeing them kind of catch that itch it's a cool feeling to see, because obviously it's been 10 years since I started playing. And so it's fun to kind of see people see that joy of the first rugby game that they get to play, or the first practice, or when the first put on the jersey. It's fun to see that, just because not all of us are going to be around for forever. And so you want to make sure that this sport's going to be here long after we're gone. So seeing the newer, younger guys taking a true liking to it and hoping they stick around, that's what I really hope for. So
Definitely. And the one thing I'd have to say, unless your name's Joe Randall and you're in your 50s playing fullback still, he can
True.
stick around forever. But
Ageless
just
wonder,
some
man.
guys that are way older than I would ever wish to be playing. I kind of started off on the hill and I'm hoping to end on the hill. So
there you go. It's that nice
yeah,
full circle,
circle of life. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So I'll open it up to everybody else. You guys got any other questions for Nate here? D, I feel like you just want to talk smack.
Itching.
I might have to be for a whole nother podcast. I don't know if that's going to be a half hour of all the questions I probably ask.
Oh man. No, I don't have any. I talked to Nate enough. I don't need to talk to him right now.
Too much.
Great content. All right, we're gonna move on into our wheel of death.
Oh, I got one. Nate, when are you going to get into coaching?
Good.
I don't know.
Question.
Yeah, Dowling didn't have a team this year, so maybe take a look into that. Obviously, still trying to be as involved in the club right now as possible. So maybe when I kind of start stepping down, I know that's one of the things JK kind of took on when he stepped down as president, is he kind of started helping out with Lincoln. So maybe that'll be next venture. Obviously, it's kind of grew up watching when I played. My dad's old buddies when he played were all coaches across the metro, and now I'm kind of starting to see our age group becoming the coaches. So I might have to catch that itch here and make sure I beat DeAndre at least once a year or so.
Oof.
Beat
That
a
is-
geek.
That is a fun moment. Like, it is so crazy on a Friday night, or we had JV the other night on Monday, where you show up and you look around the field and it's like the players are like, ooh, we don't like this team, and it's like, well, actually I'm friends with that coach. Played with that coach. I'm gonna go give him a hug. I'm gonna go make fun of him because we're friends. And they're like, wait, you get along with all these people? Like, we've known each other for like 15 years, like everybody. So it's a cool atmosphere, and
Yeah.
it's cool the kids can see that too, where a lot of them play football where they're like, we hate everybody, and it's like, no, you come to rugby and it's like, no, you can like play hard and be aggressive against them, and then afterwards it's like, no, we're all in this together, and grow the
Yeah,
game.
and I think that really plays well to just the culture that both our teams are trying to promote here. So, I mean, it extends far beyond just our two teams, but just that brotherhood that I know in the few Facebook groups that people will just post, and just anyone that needs any sort of help, that you have someone that always is with you there, and just seeing that kind of support nationally as well as just locally. I mean, it's really cool. So
Definitely. And so moving on here into this wheel of death, the way it works out, whoever finishes with the worst record and whoever finishes with the second to worst record, and if there's a tie, even for second to worst record, like we found out with the Hot Wings challenge, Everybody's got to do it.
Oh,
So we're gonna spin this bad boy, and if you can see on there, Nate, is there anything on there that we got some physical challenges, we got some spicy food challenges, we got some weird stuff in there. Anything in there you're thinking you don't want to do?
I don't know if my hips could handle an hour wall sit. That's the one that's kind of standing out to me.
That was one of the ones we were like, we got to find 18 challenges.
No,
And
I
that
could
was
think of
made
like
up last.
3 other things we could do besides a wall sit. Sounds awful.
Like
Where have you
slap
been this
on the
whole time?
face.
I kind of left you up to that.
Okay, we'll add a new one in next week. It'll be losers get to slap Phil in the face. All right. All right, here we go. We're going to spin this bad boy. Everybody ready?
Ready?
Ready.
Marcus, what do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be the beer egg. Oh,
Thai chili.
Oh,
challenge.
Another spicy one?
oh no.
Okay.
So, Nico,
Good
this was your idea. What is this? What are we doing? Are
Yeah,
we just eating pad thai or?
No, we've just got the little chilies here at home. So I'll just bring a couple for the losers, and we'll just try and they're very, very, very warm.
Awesome.
I hope you have to do Nico.
I really hope Marcus loses again.
Oh
I kind of
no.
want to.
Believe
I
in
kinda wanna
Benson.
relook at my
I'm on the
pick.
train.
I changed it up. There's 5 people that are same, and I'm not one of them. So I'm feeling all right.
Hey, Marcus, I think it might be you and me this week.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's good.
okay. Yeah, we'll be all right.
All right. So when we look at our standings, our money right now, just to recap, Nico's in first. Phil's got the same record, but due to the wins per week, he's in second. And then you got me, Benson, and D down there in last. D in definitive last. D, do you have any words for yourself? You weren't able to talk last night. What are we doing? What are we doing here, man?
I just don't know. I feel like every week I get some good picks and then I go to shit. So I thought this week I just follow my best friend Phil, and if I go down, he goes down.
I like that strategy.
I don't need your bad juju on me.
This sounds a lot like we have the same picks, D and Phil. I
how
don't know
about
if
we
I
take-
like that.
Let's take a
I
look
don't
here.
either.
So we have a great. I found this picture back when I used to coach Nate.
Oh, God.
I was
That's my
his
brother.
coach.
I'm not
Oh.
that good looking.
Wow.
You have a brother? That was your brother the whole
That's
time?
my little brother. Yep. Looks a lot like me, but way fitter. So
When's he gonna start playing again?
I don't know. We've been trying to coax him into it. He actually is working up in Cedar Falls right now. So he's not in the area quite yet. So
Gotcha.
Have him go play for Bremer.
So wait a minute. Looking at these picks,
Hold
it
on,
looks
D.
like we're. Huh?
There we go.
Oh, there we go. That's way better.
The legacy.
Looking at these picks, there's going to be a first last place and a second last place. We all lose.
It's gonna get rough, probably.
Well, it's basically it's everyone and me, or it's going to be everyone and Ryan, or it's going to be me and Ryan.
6 people. It's either
I'm
2
sorry,
or 6
Marcus.
this
I
week.
believe in you, but I really don't want to have to do that, and I think I'd prefer it for you and Gray to do it. So
Yeah, Phil.
Mr. Gray, you took the Sabercats?
I'll get to that when we get to it. But
Okay,
first,
all right.
Nico, Guiltinis are at Toronto. Why are the Guiltinis going to win?
Yeah, I've just been banging this drum. I think they're the best team in the league at this point, and until they are proven otherwise, I'm gonna keep riding that bandwagon. They've got that great backline. Nate was talking about, the Iowa products of Johnny Beefcake Sreiberg. They're just dominant out there.
He's a
And
tough guy to bring down, I'll tell you that much.
yeah,
Not if you have a hip.
yeah, there is video footage of when Iowa played at UNI in Cedar Falls, and he went to go tackle Scott Evans, S. at fly half, and he came in low and he hit Scott's hip just wrong. Hit him so hard he knocked himself out of the game.
Yeah.
Thought he was getting arrested.
Yeah, when he woke up when he became conscious, he was like, "Where am I?" It was like, "Dude, you just knocked yourself out, man."
You could hear him snoring the entire field. That was something else.
That was
That was,
crazy.
and that was like the first 2 minutes of that match. That was wild. And then with that, the Rugby Network is with Marcus here. They posted this 7 minutes ago, 2 hours ago. Marcus, why do you think Toronto is going to pull it out?
They just came off a big week last week, and they're playing good. They got a bunch of Canada boys, and they're ready to kick some ass. I'm feeling good about them. You know, the LA's, they're riding pretty high. They had that bye week. You know, they're probably out there enjoying LA, doing California things, laxing up. And I think Toronto's coming in strong. I think they're going to be looking good.
Oh man, I was almost there to pick them, but I'm like, I can't pick them and the SaberCats. Like, ooh.
Yeah, that's what yeah. Well, and the main reason I picked them too is because I was like, everyone's picking LA, and I feel like I have to go against what I think is right because that hasn't done me any good the last 2 weeks.
So Phil, we got a clean sweep. NOLA against Austin. What's happening here?
Well, so obviously we're all big fans of NOLA. You know, that week 1 match against Old Glory where they had a draw, you know, and Marcus was talking up New York and stuff. I lost my faith a little bit, and I went with New York over NOLA, and then NOLA just came out swinging and just beat the shit out of them. And I was right there. I'm like, I'm never picking against NOLA again. So I had to go with NOLA. They're obviously a really good club. Austin is a decent club, but, you know, watching their performance against, like, San Diego and stuff, it's just, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with them. I think NOLA's just going to control the game and keep their pace and probably come out on top. So sticking with NOLA.
Well, and Phil, Austin, their hooker is from Iowa City. Do you see he got player of the week out of all of MLR this last week?
Yeah.
He's got the nice mustache.
It's a beautiful stash.
You don't have any love for that? You're just, NOLA burned you and you're just sticking with them.
Yep, I'm sticking with them. But I'm going to be upset if I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, it means nothing. If you're wrong, we're all wrong. So
I know.
Well, to be fair, Austin only plays 70 minutes of rugby, so
that is true.
Until last weekend.
yeah.
Yeah, they played 40. The other team didn't score. Moving on, San Diego is in Houston. Marcus, why is San Diego going to win?
I don't even know if it's why San Diego. It's more why not the SaberCats. I mean, they haven't scored a point in the last couple of weeks, right? I mean, it's brutal. I mean, I don't know how you could pick them. You know, I don't think San Diego's anything special. I think they're probably near the bottom half of the league too. They got a lot of talented guys that just haven't been playing well together. Yeah, I think unless Houston shocks us all, which for your sake, Ryan, I hope they do. I don't think it'll be a good one for Houston.
So here's where you're wrong.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of slander towards Houston. A lot of slander towards Houston. They just went out. They signed Nick Boyer at scrum half, former Eagle, and you know they haven't scored points in the last 2 matches, which means they're due. Like they're just all backed up, ready to explode with points this week. There's going to be points everywhere. So
once they find the line, they're going to keep hitting it. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. It's one of those things. It's like riding a bike. Like once they start, they're like, oh, this is how we score points. You don't forget how to do that. And they're just, and also with MLR, I feel like when you get in a groove of it's like this week scares me because it's we all agree with each other. There's certain matches throughout the year that just outcomes just surprise you where you're like, this shouldn't have happened. And I feel like this is going to be one of those matches where everyone thinks it's going to be San Diego, and just for no logic at all, SaberCats are going to come out and put up some points. They're going to be motivated, ready to go. And for my sake, I just hope that's the case. So it's more of, again, I'm going to will them with my positive vibes. will them to victory.
Great, you talked me into it. Can I switch?
No.
No, because no.
I hope you have that same will for the beer mile tonight.
Oh, God.
Yeah, same.
I haven't run in the last week because I'm saving all my good running for beer
Yeah.
mile.
Just like Houston and all those points.
They're going to explode all over San Diego's face. Moving on, we have Seattle going to Utah. Justin, why are we in agreement with Utah?
Okay. So the Seawolves have kind of not been doing so hot lately. And Utah just they're not really flashy like the Giltinis or NOLA, I would say, but they have a solid structure and they follow their plan. And I think that's going to pull them through this game.
Perfect. Nice. Very simple, very easy. And yeah, they're just very methodical when you watch them. And moving into the last game's on Sunday. And Sunday, that's going to be our watch party at Pally's at 2 p.m. We have New York at Atlanta. So you can join us at Pally's, our home bar, to watch that match. And D, why is Atlanta going to win?
I don't know. Phil, want you help me out with this one, Phil?
Oh, that's right. You didn't make your own pick.
No, he's got it. He's got it.
Phil, why did we pick Atlanta this week?
I don't know. I mean, they've been surprising me so far this year, being a fairly relatively new club. I mean, they've been kicking ass, dude. Like, they're putting up points. They're aggressive. They take advantage of, like, any penalties that are given. Like, I don't know. They're a fairly solid team all around. I've been really impressed with them so far. At first, like I said, wasn't really sure, but past few matches, yeah, they're looking good. So I had to go with that.
That's
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Let me copy your homework, but don't make it obvious. And then
I'm kind of surprised Marcus went with Atlanta. He's kind of been on New York.
It was between my two teams, and as much as I love New York, Atlanta hasn't done me wrong yet, and so I can't go against that. I thought about it, but with the like Mr. Gray said, with his Houston pick, with me taking that Toronto pick, I couldn't go out crazy on two.
Yeah,
Can't get too wild.
Yeah,
you take a risk on one, and then you're like, that's it. Draw the line.
Yep.
And then for that Seattle and Utah match, Nate, you guys at Des Moines, you guys are having a watch party for that match too, right?
Yep, we're actually having a watch party at 1717. It's a local bar downtown in East Village. It's been a blast. They've been a great sponsor for us. So yeah, Saturdays for MLR, we have a watch party down there for majority of the MLR games there. And so it's a fun time to get together, share a couple of beers, and watch some good American rugby. So you guys are always welcome to join us for that as well.
Oh,
Definitely. Yeah. We'll be in Cedar Rapids, because we're on off Saturdays
Well,
with you guys
we
for
can plan
matches.
that out.
So that's why we picked Sunday for ours. And so Nate, when you look at the board, how do you feel about this weekend? What are you thinking with these matches? Are we gonna see really predictable rugby, or what do we think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm copying off some people's sheets as well. I'm seeing a lot of people have the same predictions that I did here. Obviously with LA, they're just playing really fast and really smart rugby right now. That's why I kind of went with them. Been a NOLA fan since the Raptors left last year. So I was going to go with my home team there. And then the two in the middle, San Diego and I think Utah are just really well coached. I like their style of play that they play. They're not the flashiest teams, but they get the job done. And then I went with Atlanta. Our captain, Brian Moose Kaufman, from Atlanta or from Georgia, big Atlanta fan. So going with him on that one. So
Nice. And that's the thing, like, we don't talk about picks beforehand or anything like that. So it's pretty impressive that we're kind of all in agreement with everything. And I think even Marcus and I know that, like, LA and San Diego are kind of the favorites there. So it'll be interesting to see if, like, the table is really set where we think it's going to be. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun rugby. I think we're going to see some pretty close matches too.
yeah, I think that first one's definitely going to be a lot closer than most people think. I think.
I mean, no one's. It's kind of, when you think about it, no one's been undefeated yet.
Mhm.
But as much as we like to think it's predictable, but like all of our picks, we haven't gotten it all right yet. And then, I mean, it's kind of it's all over the place.
Nico is Saturday.
3 matches ahead of DeAndre in last place. 3 matches. Like, that's not very far apart. But then when you look at the money, he's about 20. No, it's a $45 swing of he owes 15 to.
We're talking distance.
What, Nico?
I think it's about a mile apart if we're talking distance.
I'll catch you.
Ooh.
Like a whole beer mile apart, or
Ooh.
Very subtle, Nico.
Nate, you gonna come to Pally's tomorrow night and watch me and D throw up in a parking lot?
You guys are actually doing a beer mile tomorrow?
Yeah.
What time is it at?
We will get
7-ish?
there around 7:30, and I want to do it immediately before it gets dark because it's gonna take me a while.
It's okay, Greg. I do my quarantine chugger thing tomorrow, so I'm almost there with you.
Do I need to just like be on a bike with like a defibrillator riding with you,
Yeah.
Ryan?
Probably.
Yeah, Greg, I'm gonna bring my bike down and I'm gonna come with I'm gonna have a little headlamp, and that way I can catch all the action on the route. So that way we don't miss anything.
Hey, S.Dot's got a GoPro. Can we strap the GoPro to D or Gray?
Dude.
that's a great idea.
But you won't catch both of them because DeAndre will be so far ahead.
Nah, I think you'd be surprised.
And I can't chug beer, so it's probably gonna take me longer to drink the beer than it will to actually run. So I'll need a flashlight. It's gonna get dark by the time I'm done.
Especially when Nico's choosing all those porters and stouts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good God.
Can we end with the Miller Lite?
I think that might be fair.
Wash it all down.
Yeah.
Nico gets to pay for all these, right?
Oh yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Bar tabs, let's go.
With his winnings, with his
With his
$30
winnings.
pot. Well, yeah.
It all washes out.
You guys are paying for your beer. What? That's weird. Oh,
I'm not
That'd be
choosing the
shittiest
beer.
way to spend your winnings.
You're
On the
choosing the
loser's
beers.
Hey, you win all this money. Now spend it on everybody else.
yeah. You don't,
I would do it for you guys.
Seems fair.
But you can't, Phil, because you're a loser.
I know.
So Nate, thank you for joining us tonight. Hopefully you can join us next week when we do our recap and we talk about basically how it went. So yeah, we appreciate you being on, man. And if there's anything else you kind of want to throw out there or anything else you want to plug, you got your watch party coming up this weekend on Saturday at 1717. You got a match coming up in 2 weeks. Anything else you kind of want to throw out there or say to the people?
Yeah, just first things first, just thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. It's been kind of cool to watch you guys take off, and this little MLR prediction site has been pretty cool to watch before the games, especially when I haven't caught quite all of them. So it's kind of a good recap, especially of the week. But yeah, other than our upcoming matches, which we would love for everyone to come out and watch, all you would get to do is just see some good rugby when it all fails and have a couple of beers with some new faces. So everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome to 1717. Would love to have them. And yeah, best of luck with you guys this weekend. Hopefully you guys come back with a win.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And did we want to do like a fake beef real quick, like just a quick 30-second thing where we look angry?
Yeah, just pretend like we hate each other. Yeah.
Like, hey man,
Social media beef going there.
You suck.
You guys are terrible. I hope none of you guys do well.
Boom, clipping it, and that's gonna be the preview.
Yeah, that should be the preview for tomorrow.
Of the whole show, that'll be like the only 2
Yes.
seconds people watch. Be like, oh dang, Des Moines being Des Moines.
I'll do my thumb too dry.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah, and so also too, it's Wednesday today. So, Marcus, you want to talk about what we're doing right after this?
Very excited for this very soggy, wet, rainy practice, but we're gonna be there having fun. We got a lot to work on and get ready for this weekend. The last time with the boys that gotta knock the rust off for Saturday.
And then Phil, what are we doing after practice?
Oh, you already know we're going to Pally's Bar and Grill for a couple of couple of drinks for a cocktail hour and watch some good boys run a mile and drink a couple beers while they do it. Some nice stouts and porters.
Yeah,
Can't
what was the prediction
wait.
for that?
Huh?
What was the line for that run, beer mile?
Oh,
Hmm.
I think 10. Well, what, 15 minutes? Because you got to drink the beer. You have to drink it during there before you go on the next quarter.
We'll probably do it before. Yeah, like you drink it
Leave it on
first,
the patio. Yeah.
and then you run. Yeah, and then so the way we're gonna do it, we're gonna run to like a corner, take a left, and then run back like an L, because it doesn't really have a loop around it. So we're gonna like run down the side, take a left, come back, drink another, and so it's 5. We'll do 5 beers, 1 before and then 1 to end, and then I'm shooting for 22 minutes.
Yeah, I think 20 to 25
20 minutes is about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shooting for an hour.
Perfect. And then Saturday, Nico, what are we doing?
We're heading over to Cedar Rapids to play some of our good boys, the Headhunters. Let's go, Wombat.
And so that's another thing too. We're gonna see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of friends, and again, we're coming for you, Cedar Rapids. I got a good meme just queued up, ready to go with the Iron Sheik and Hulk Hogan, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, they're gonna post it first now.
But they'll have them in the wrong order. And then lastly, Justin, what are we doing on Sunday?
Sunday we're having a watch party at Alley's. We're watching Utah, right? Utah and the Seahawks.
No, that's gonna be
That's Des Moines.
that's for Des Moines.
17. You could go to that one too.
Yeah.
We're watching
New York and Atlanta.
New York and Atlanta. There we go.
Who lets Justin talk?
He's
I mean,
promoting
to be
them
fair,
both.
you wouldn't
Yeah.
even do the why you picked Atlanta because you have no idea why.
Because I didn't pick him.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill.
You know, I barely sent you guys a run sheet, and this went way more smooth than yesterday. But you know, who knows? And then I guess, you know, Nate, lastly, we don't know how to end this show, so what we do, we put you on the spot. Take it away. Send us home. Give us one last final thought. Take us home.
Yeah, obviously, just to echo what I said earlier, good luck this weekend. I hope everyone stays healthy. Hopefully the new guys play well and kind of play within your system. Obviously, if you guys make it back in time, you're more than welcome to join us with 17-17 for some beers, hopefully after a victory. Yeah, good luck this weekend and bring home a win.
Thank you, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
Did you get us, Cedar Rapids? All right. Thank you, guys. I'll cut this part out. I messed up on my button.